My name's Nick Ginn, born and raised here in Hamilton, drummer for Hellbent, and recording engineer, mixer, and studio owner. I used to own Schoolhouse Studios, or run Schoolhouse Studios, but now we're here at my new spot in Hive Studios. So one of my influences to start playing was a buddy's stepdad got him a drum kit so that they could play together, they could jam together because he played guitar. And so yeah, going over to his place and just kind of banging around on drums, being like, oh, this is cool, I want to do this. I want to play these. And so my parents, being the supportive, loving parents they are, were nice enough to put up with the loud noise, and they always kind of wanted me doing two sort of extracurricular things. So I was able to finagle drums into one of those, and then eventually that just became everything. But yeah, that was kind of the main thing that influenced me to start playing. So I was always into kind of pop music growing up, not having...
Spice Girls.
Yeah, Spice Girls, NSYNC, Hanson, Bop. I've actually been trying to write or do a Hellbent cover of Bop. A terrible song now. Looking back at it, it's, yeah, awful. Anyways, always into kind of pop music. More because it was sort of what was on Much Music when I was 8 and what I was exposed to. And cause my parents listened to Elton John and not cool stuff. So yeah, as was, that turned into then Blink-182 and Limp Bizkit and Dr. Dre and all of that late 90s MTV Much Music stuff. And then from there, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, as well as my cousin one day being like, oh, you like, Blink-182, Green Day, yada yada, here's Bad Religion. Showed me Bad Religion, and that was kind of game over from there. And then it kind of started going down more of the rabbit hole to, some stuff a little bit more screamy, a little bit more, I remember like the first time hearing Poison the Well. And be like, oh, I need a China and a double kick pedal, and yeah, that was kind of the trajectory from there. It just kind of kept going, and started getting into more weird stuff.
Nice.
So my first concert that wasn't Sharon Lewis and Bram, because that probably was my first concert, I was like 3, 4 if you want to count that, was Our Lady Peace. In Sarnia, they used to have a festival called Bay Fest every summer. And so I was probably grade 6, I want to say. And yeah, went and saw Our Lady Peace at Bay Fest. That was my first concert.
Nice.
And then my, I guess, first sort of, if you want to call it punk show or whatever, would have been the next year at that, seeing Blink-182 and Sum 41. So that was probably at grade 7, grade 8 maybe.
Yep.
And then yeah, and then from there probably first kind of like metal, kind of hardcore thing would have been at AFB in Hamilton. Silverstein and Roses Dead, which kind of then started exposing me to the local music and local shows and all that. And yeah, that was kind of the evolution of my show going. So some of my favorite shows I've been to, the first one that always comes to mind was the gorgeous last show they ever played at L3 in St. Catharines with Attack in Black. The Gorgeous were the best band ever. Attack in Black is also the best band. Not quite the best band. Not like the Gorgeous. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a cool, like, two very different bands. It was a very cool show, and the Gorgeous, their last song they played, Lake Ontario, and everyone on the stage singing This Water Kills, and he just kind of climbs out after from the pile of people and says, "We were the Gorgeous and now we're nothing," and left. And it was so sick. So that one always stands out. Also at L3, Bring Me the Horizon, before they like blew up, but they were kind of right about to.
Yep.
That was a really cool show. What else? There's a couple others. Roses Dead's Stages release at, I believe, the Underground.
Okay.
I remember after that, every band had the big lights. They had the big, like, the Dead behind them that were all lit up.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a very cool show. More recently, the couple times I've seen Hot Mulligan, super tight, and yeah, just a really fun time every time I've seen them.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, to add to favorite shows, a couple more that actually popped up, or popped into my mind as we were talking. The last Dillinger show at Opera House, and the night before, the night after, was Poison the Well, like, reunion. They did those like 5-10 shows. So that was a good kind of back-to-back favorite weekend of shows or whatever. But also the two others that came to mind, when I said about two others that came to mind, Tiny Moving Parts at the Doors was really cool because there was like 10 people there.
Nice.
Matt from Hellbent put on the show, and you know, like a week later they're playing to like 1,000 people and blew up. And being like, you know, this far away from them while they're playing, that was cool. That was a fun one. Also Sect, when they played that DIY show in like James Street North, some like that was cool.
Yeah, I
was
wasn't in Canada.
My best buddy wasn't either, and I rubbed it in really hard that he missed it. It was sick. That was a really fun one. Yeah, those two, I forgot to mention those two. They were good. So yeah, maybe not craziest, but I think it was really funny and stood out, and I've definitely never seen since. We were playing a Christmas show, and it was like a fundraiser in St. Catharines, and we were given a 45-minute slot, or I think it was 45 minutes. It was a lot more than we had. We played for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we finished, and we're like, well, you guys mingle amongst yourselves for the next half hour. And so whatever, next band plays Camper, and same thing, they don't have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So they, their singer, I guess, before this, wrote a story about a horse. And so they played for, 3 or 4 songs, and they stopped, all got off stage. He got a chair and just sat down and read this story that he wrote. I forget exactly all that happened. It was a ridiculous story. And it was probably like 15 minutes, to the point where the band got on stage and we're like, man, you gotta like stop, we gotta keep playing. And he just kept going. And so they started playing, and instead of singing, he just like replaced all the lyrics or whatever with this story. And yeah, it was quite funny, and it was a very silly thing that I've never seen anyone do before or since. Probably never will.
Exactly.
Cool. So yeah, currently I play drums in Hellbent, kind of silly, fun, hardcore band. Bunch of songs about dogs and penguins and smoking pot and stuff. Yeah, we just like to have fun. Yeah, before that, I played in a band called Them Thieves, which was probably my first like band that played a bunch of shows and like played out of town and stuff like that, kind of taken seriously. I forget the actual what years it was, like 2011, 2012 to like 2016, 2017, around there.
When did that start?
2014. Yeah, 10 years ago was when we first started writing those first songs and did that first EP.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, yeah, Hellbent's been kind of the main thing since probably 2015, 2016. Kind of all I've done musically or band-wise since then. But yeah, mostly what I do is recording, which started about probably 15 years now. I've been doing recording, but I've been kind of interested in creative stuff, dabbling with stuff. So in high school, doing like video editing class or whatever, the like tech class that did a little bit of AutoCAD, a little bit of this, that, and the other thing. Always kind of interested me. But yeah, and then a buddy, as I started playing in bands in 14 or whatever, and somewhere along the way, like a buddy got a 4-track recorder that kind of started dabbling with and that. And then yeah, it wasn't until one of my older bands we went and recorded an EP at Mastermind Studios, and that was kind of the first time. It was probably like 18, 19, around there, 18 I think, and that was when I kind of was like, oh, you can like record music as a job. That seems cool. I want to try doing that. That seems really neat. And yeah, and then just kind of dove in from there. Went to Recording Arts Canada, as kind of parents wanted me to go to college, so I kind of, again, being supportive, loving parents, that was kind of the compromise. And yeah, I've been just recording a ton of Hamilton, Ontario, bands since then. And yeah, started Schoolhouse Studios, and I think it's 2013. And ran that until March of this year, and now I'm back at Hive Studios, which I was at before I started Schoolhouse, so life's kind of come full circle. What I like and dislike about being a musician first.
Yes.
Right? All right. The thing I like is two things. Making cool stuff, writing cool stuff with my friends, and playing shows is pretty fun. I guess also driving around in a van with my friends. So drives are kind of, yeah, that's a fun part of being in a band, just kind of those hangouts on some of those long drives. Least favorite thing is definitely the gear loading, carrying heavy stuff. That's definitely the worst part. As far as recording world, my favorite thing, again, same thing, making cool shit with my friends, watching songs come together, records come together, and yeah, just making cool stuff is definitely my favorite part. And my least favorite part, more recently, has been some of the long days and erratic hours, because it's just less time I can't hang out with my dog. That's it. Everything else is pretty rad.
Awesome.
My favorite food is definitely chicken wings. I love hot chicken wings. Not as hot as I get older, but love hot wings. That's definitely number one. I don't have very many talents because I just sit in front of Pro Tools all day, and that's all I've done for 15 years. So about a year ago, I saw a guy in the park with a box of Rubik's Cubes and just hammering them out, and I was like, I want to learn how to beat a Rubik's Cube. So I got a Rubik's Cube. And then I learned how to Rubik's Cube, and I was could finish in about 3 minutes. And that was definitely my most useless talent, or skill. I don't even know if that's a talent, but thing that I could do. But it's been a bit, and I forgot the last step to do it, so I don't even know if it counts anymore. But I can get everything basically there, and then I lost it. Steve, thanks for having me, and appreciate having me on Stronger Than Ever videos.